fight.
Oh, no. Got it. You know what? I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it.
First and foremost, somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight. When you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you're fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well.
The boxing world is on fire with anticipation as two modern titans prepare to collide. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. This isn't just a super fight. It's a seismic clash of size, skill, power, and pride. One is a multi-division champion who's dominated from light middleweight to super middleweight. The other, a two-time undisputed champion with unmatched adaptability and ring IQ. But here's the question. Will it be Canelo's sheer size and raw power that decides the outcome, or will Crawford's speed, footwork, and intelligence prevail? Opinions are flying from all corners of the fight game, from Joseph Parker to Robert Garcia. Even Manny Pacquiao himself has something to say. Let's break down what the pros are saying, quote by quote, to understand the full picture behind one of the most anticipated matchups in boxing history.
Canelo, I just think Terence for me is the man. I like that he can fight southpaw, orthodox. I like his IQ. Good chin. So for me, it's listen. I know everyone has a different opinion, and there's a lot of people that love Canelo, a lot of people that love Terence, but I went for Terence.
Joseph Parker doesn't mince words when offering his prediction. He's backing Crawford. It's not an emotional pick, it's a stylistic one. Parker admires Crawford's versatility, particularly his ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw seamlessly. That switch-hitting style, combined with high-level ring IQ and a rock-solid chin, gives Crawford an edge in Parker's eyes, even against a bigger, more physically imposing opponent like Canelo. The love and respect for Canelo are there, but Parker leans on what he values most: adaptability, intelligence, and the ability to read and solve problems in real time. For Parker, boxing isn't just about who hits harder or who weighs more. It's about who can control the tempo, make adjustments, and win moments round by round. This insight sets the tone for a deeper conversation throughout this script. In elite-level boxing, skills pay the bills, and Terence Crawford is one of the most skilled fighters the sport has ever seen.
He has to bite down and go hard. He has to bite down and go hard. Canelo is a beast.
While Parker favors Crawford, he's not blind to the challenge ahead. In his follow-up thoughts, he acknowledges just how dangerous Canelo is and how hard Crawford will have to dig to win. He has to bite down and go hard, Parker warns. That phrase says it all. Canelo is a beast, relentless body puncher, high ring IQ, and a granite chin. Even the most skilled fighters have wilted under his pressure. Parker's take reminds us that while Crawford might have the superior skill set, he must show it under fire. He can't afford a slow start. He can't just cruise through rounds. He'll need to fight with grit, use his legs wisely, and not allow Canelo to dictate the pace or close the distance. Crawford must be surgical, but also savage. This isn't just a chess match, it's a war. Parker's words highlight the razor-thin margin for error. One miscalculation, one failed adjustment, and Canelo could break through. That's what makes this fight so compelling. Crawford's skills will be tested against one of the most durable and battle-tested champions of the modern era.
I think it's totally different. I think, Canelo was only 23, he was very young. I think this fight's gonna be great. I do see Crawford maybe pulling it off because he's got good footwork, good speed, but I don't think they're close. I don't similar those two fights, Canelo and Floyd. I think they're just different styles. I mean, Floyd and Crawford.
Robert Garcia provides a critical layer to the discussion. He calls out the frequent comparison between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, especially in relation to their styles against Canelo. Garcia reminds fans that when Mayweather beat Canelo, the Mexican was only 23. He was green, less experienced, and lacked the refined technique we see from him today. According to Garcia, you can't compare that version of Canelo to the one who's dominated the super middleweight division. More importantly, he believes Mayweather and Crawford have completely different fighting styles. Floyd was a defensive genius, focused on control, angles, and counterpunching. Crawford, on the other hand, Crawford is aggressive, adaptable, and much more offensive-minded. While he's smart and slick, he doesn't fight like Floyd, and that could make all the difference. Garcia suggests that fans and analysts must stop using past fights as blueprints for future ones. Crawford has a different mountain to climb, and even though he has the tools to do it, this Canelo, seasoned, patient, and powerful, is a far more dangerous puzzle than the one Floyd faced.
Oh, no. Got it. You know what? I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it.
When Canelo is asked about pushing Crawford during their press conference, his response is classic Canelo, calm but unapologetic. He says it was just a reaction, that Crawford tried to provoke him, and he merely responded. But beneath those words lies something deeper. Canelo is sending a message. This fight isn't just business, it's personal. Whether it was gamesmanship or genuine emotion, the altercation added real heat to the matchup. This isn't your typical respectful build-up. It's a collision of egos, both men determined to show the world who the real king is. Canelo's dismissiveness toward Crawford's behavior shows his veteran confidence. He's not rattled. He's been here before, many times. In fact, he thrives in this kind of environment. Crawford may have tried to get into Canelo's head, but the Mexican star is unfazed. This mental toughness is part of what makes Canelo so dangerous. He doesn't overreact. He stores the energy, the tension, and channels it into controlled violence inside the ring. And if Crawford thinks he can get into Canelo's psyche, this response shows he might be barking up the wrong tree.
Fighter I am. I always try to respect my opponents, and I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Al-Ashi told him, you need to do something, and he did. And now before I respect his word, because he say, oh, I'm not gonna let somebody to tell me what I need to do.
In a more candid follow-up, Canelo goes deeper, questioning Crawford's authenticity. He claims that Crawford's press conference stunt wasn't even his own idea, but something orchestrated by his team or handlers to spark drama. For Canelo, this was disappointing. He respected Crawford for being his own man, someone who wouldn't let others dictate his moves. But now, that respect is shaken. Canelo frames himself as a fighter who always shows respect until someone crosses the line. And in his eyes, Crawford did just that. What's important here isn't just the accusation, it's the tone. Canelo is letting the world know that the fight now carries emotional weight. There's pride at stake, not just belts or legacy. When fighters bring that level of emotion into the ring, everything changes. It raises the stakes, it fuels the intensity, and sometimes it clouds judgment. But for a warrior like Canelo, it usually sharpens the edge. This quote gives fans a look at the psychological battle unfolding. Canelo feels disrespected, and a disrespected Canelo is often the most dangerous version of himself.
But you know me. I respect everybody, but if you fuck with me, so it's gonna be different.
Canelo's warning during the press conference is perhaps the most telling glimpse into his mindset going into this fight. With a calm but menacing tone, he makes it very clear, I respect everybody, but if you mess with me, it's going to be different. That line may sound simple, but it cuts deep. This isn't just about boxing anymore. Canelo's sense of honor has been challenged, and when that happens, the composed warrior we're used to seeing turns into something far more dangerous. The implication here is that Crawford may have crossed a line he didn't intend to. Canelo's ability to stay emotionally grounded is one of his biggest strengths, but he's also fueled by pride, and when that pride is tested, he fights with purpose. This moment in the build-up creates a very real narrative tension. Has Crawford inadvertently lit a fire in Canelo that could work against him, or has he successfully gotten into the Mexican star's head? Either way, this confrontation has added a layer of volatility to the fight, transforming it from a purely strategic contest to an emotional showdown. And in boxing, emotion is a double-edged sword. It can elevate performance or cause fatal lapses in judgment.
First and foremost, somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight.
On the other side of the emotional scale, Terence Crawford responds with his own fire. He makes it crystal clear he's not scared of anyone, and he wasn't about to let someone disrespect him without a response. His words are defiant, personal, and unapologetically aggressive. He sees this not just as a sporting event, but as a moment to assert dominance. Crawford is not here to play second fiddle to Canelo's star power or legacy. This quote gives us insight into the mental approach of Crawford. He's entering the ring with the mindset of a man who feels constantly overlooked and underestimated. That hunger has driven him to become a two-time undisputed champion, and now he's bringing that chip on his shoulder into his biggest fight yet. But what's just as crucial is the confidence. Crawford doesn't doubt himself for a second. He believes he's the boss, even in Canelo's weight class. That kind of belief can be dangerous, especially when backed up with elite skill, unshakable composure, and a perfect record. This isn't bravado, it's conviction. Crawford is not coming to survive, he's coming to take over.
When you're supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you're fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well.
The face-off between Canelo and Crawford escalates further when both fighters promise that it's going to be different for the other man. The comments may sound like standard press conference trash talk, but in this context, they feel heavier. Both fighters are essentially warning the other that their current assumptions won't hold when the bell rings. Canelo sees Crawford as someone who's been dominating smaller fighters, not realizing the level of challenge that lies ahead when facing a heavier, more physically durable opponent. Crawford, on the other hand, believes Canelo is underestimating his adaptability, his composure, and his ability to neutralize power with technique. What's so fascinating about this exchange is the mutual disbelief. Each man thinks the other is underprepared for the reality of what's coming. This dynamic builds anticipation like few matchups can. The fans know both men are telling the truth from their own perspective, but only one of them will be right. That uncertainty, that unsolvable tension, is what makes this such an electrifying event. It's not just a clash of styles, it's a clash of unshakable belief systems.
When I stump a mud hole in your asses, you're gonna be a nobody. You're gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Watch. Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them. Stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Crawford, never one to stay silent when doubted, unleashes one of the most emotionally charged responses yet. He goes off on those who claimed he hadn't fought anyone, promising that Canelo will be just like everybody else. He's not just trying to win, he's on a mission to make a statement. His voice is filled with frustration, defiance, and an absolute certainty that he's about to prove the world wrong again. This is the side of Crawford that has made him one of the most feared fighters in boxing. Calm on the surface, but boiling with internal motivation. He doesn't care about the narratives. He doesn't care about size differences. He doesn't care about Canelo's legacy. All he cares about is putting another elite fighter on his list and doing it in emphatic fashion. This quote adds fire to the storyline because it's not about mutual respect anymore. It's personal. Crawford believes he's been disrespected his entire career, and now he's looking to take that out on the sport's biggest name. If you thought Crawford would be intimidated by the stage or the size, think again. He's coming for a reckoning.
Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve the power.
To close out the quote breakdown, we hear from the legendary Manny Pacquiao, someone who has faced the size issue many times and come out victorious. His advice to Crawford is simple but profound. Maintain and improve your speed. Pacquiao understands firsthand what it takes to jump weight classes and still be effective. He's done it, and he knows that the most important thing when moving up isn't just bulking up, it's preserving your best asset. For Crawford, that's his speed, his timing, his footwork. Pacquiao warns that gaining weight often dulls those sharp tools, and if Crawford slows down even slightly, Canelo will be able to capitalize. But if Crawford can keep his explosiveness and marry it with increased power and strength, he could pull off something special. Coming from someone who shocked the world many times by beating bigger men, this advice carries real weight. Pacquiao isn't just offering technical insight, he's giving Crawford the exact mindset needed to defy the odds. It's poetic in a way, one legend passing the torch to another, encouraging him to stay true to what made him great in the first place. So what does it all come down to? On paper, Canelo has every physical advantage. He's bigger, stronger, and has fought some of the most dangerous men in the higher weight classes. But Terence Crawford isn't just stepping up in weight, he's stepping up with a resume built on domination, precision, and elite-level fight IQ. This isn't a brawler moving up for a payday. This is a calculated assassin, a two-time undisputed champion, ready to test his skills against one of the most complete fighters of the last 2 decades. Size matters, yes, but skill is what separates great from legendary. And in this fight, we're going to find out what matters more when both men are at the peak of their confidence. One thing's for sure, this is more than a super fight. It's a legacy war. If you live for these high-stakes showdowns and want insider takes and breakdowns from boxing's biggest names, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a fight night beat. This is BoxiHub, where size meets skill, legends are tested, and fans get the truth behind every punch. Don't just watch boxing, understand it, right here on BoxiHub.